What's up y'all? Talon here. Today I'm back with another series of ranked ladder matches on the Battle Stadium ladder featuring a top team in the Regulation G metagame. Today I have a team that was created by Robbie VGC. I'll have the Twitter linked in the description below, but he's a significant contributor on the Small Gun forum, so you might have seen him there. Also the finalist in the VGC 2023 World Championships, I believe, and generally just a strong up-and-coming player. I believe he's still in the senior division this year. Definitely a contender to take the title after his second place finish last year. Excited to be featuring his team here. It did get top 8 at the Victory Road to Honolulu tournament, a tournament with all masters, so definitely a huge accomplishment for him there. With a very interesting set of Pokemon. If y'all enjoy these type of videos, please show your support by subscribing to the channel. A lot of these rentals are not made public. I do just recreate them in-game from the open team sheet that are released after tournaments, and yeah, that does take some time and effort as well as the experience to actually know which EVs to punch in. So yeah, if you guys enjoy these type of videos, please subscribe. And with all that being said, let's hop into a breakdown of this team. So starting out from a very high level, a lot of the core components of this team are kind of similar to what we've seen on other Koraidon Sun teams. The Koraidon, the Chi-Yu, definitely a strong pairing. We've seen people shifting away from the Incineroar route on Koraidon teams, although it is strong defensively. Just shifting a bit more offensively with the Chi-Yu over the Incineroar, sharing the same typing, but just focusing on dealing maximum damage with Sun boosted overheats instead of just pivoting around with the Incineroar. Raging Bolt benefits, you can run an Assault Vest while still having a lot of power with the Photosynthesis, not needing to run a booster energy to get that Photosynthesis special attack boost. The Tera Electric, Proto boosted Thunderclaps are dealing insane damage, as well as Thunderbolt and Volt Switch for general pivotability. And then interesting pick here is the Dragon Pulse instead of Draco Meteor, just wanting to stay on the field and do more sustained damage with Dragon Pulse instead of a burst of damage with the Draco Meteor. From there on though, it does start to get a little weird. We haven't seen a lot of Venusaur in this format at all. I think this is the first time I'm seeing it in any meaningful capacity. We're running a Chlorophyll set on the Venusaur, basically doubling your speed in the sun, so you're able to go for really fast sleep powders, put opponents to sleep 75% of the time before they are able to move, and give your Koraidon time to either set up a Flame Charge or just start going for crazy damage with the Orichalcum Pulse boosted Flare Blitzes and Collision Courses. Sludge Bomb is really good coverage into things like Rillaboom, Tera Fairy, Calyrex, Shadow Rider if you're able to force that into the Terrestrialization with your Chi-Yu's Dark Pulse, but it's not going to be that common of a situation. Grass Knot, very nice against Urshifu. Rapid Strike, that's going to do a ton of damage, as well as just doing lots of damage against the very heavy restricted Pokemon in the format. For example, a Terra Water Zamazenta, if you can force it into a Terra Water with your Koraidon or your Chi-Yu, which they're going to be very tempted to do. Later in the game, you can go into your Venusaur and clean it up with a very powerful Grass Knot. Covert Cloak is a smart pick because it can definitely stifle your turns of Sun and generally just your turn 1 situations when you lead the Venusaur. Having the option to completely ignore Fake Out from a Rillaboom or a Incineroar, which mostly don't carry Fire type coverage at this point in the metagame, means you're able to completely ignore that slot and Sleep Powder the other, and really just pressure from turn 1 in a way that's definitely very hard to deal with as an opponent. The last two Pokemon on the team are the Ursaluna normal form. We've seen a lot of the Blood Moon in this format, but not a ton of the base form, and then the Porygon 2. Another really uncommon pick. I think the Farigiraph's Armor Tail has proven to be a lot better general utility, but Porygon 2 has a lot more longevity with the Eviolite and the Recover, as well as potential offense with the Download special attack boosts on the Terra Blast and the Ice Beam. This one is Terra Ground to be able to basically act as a Miraidon matchup. They can't go for the Volt Switch or Electro Drift as easily against you, especially if you get a special attack boost. The Terra Blast, Terra Ground is going to do a ton of damage, and that kind of forces them to go for Draco Meteor, although a lot of them are shifting Tera Fairy. But if you are running against a just solo Draco Meteor electric coverage one, they're going to be forced to Draco if you pop that Terra early. In a similar vein, the Ursaluna has a Tera Fairy, so you're already a ground type to begin with, so if the Koraidon late game has to lock into a Dragon type move, if they're choice specs, you can just go for the Tera Fairy and wall them out that way. So it's a really cool synergy between the typings. The set is Facade Headlong Rush, dealing as much damage as you can with the Guts Flame Orb combination. And then Substitute is very interesting. But if you get the Ursaluna in with the Incineroar already on the field, you don't take a Parting Shot or an Intimidate, and you get Substitute up, it's going to be really difficult for them to take you out. They can Parting Shot you through Substitute outside of the Trick Room conditions, but outside of that, they can't Fake Out you if you have Substitute up. They can Intimidate you on switch, so definitely a very cool option there. Overall, congrats to Robbie on his top 8 finish in the Victory Road to Honolulu Challenge. Very difficult tour, big finish for him there, and a really cool team putting Venusaur, Porygon 2, and Ursaluna on the map. So excited to be featuring the team today. Definitely follow Robbie on Twitter. If you guys enjoy these type of videos, please subscribe to the channel. I have the rental code in the top right of the video if you want to use it, as well as the PokePaste with the EV spreads in the description. And with all that being said, let's hop into the battles now. Okay, my opponent is running the Kyogre, basically Crystal's Rain team that got #1 on the ladder. Definitely featured this on the channel most recently. I could do a check and see if it shares the exact same ordering of Pokemon, and then I could like gauge EVs, but don't think that's necessary. Venusaur Terra Water looks pretty good here against everything, but the, I guess it wouldn't be that great, but it definitely has its options. The Rillaboom and the Raging Bolt would be a little annoying, but Grass Knot versus Sludge Bomb coverage pressures the Kyogre pretty well. I do like Koraidon a fair bit. It can switch in pretty well on the Kyogre outside of the Ice Beams, but I think we can deal with that. Assault Vest, Raging Bolt feels very good here to me. I can Volt Switch out against a lot of their Pokemon, and then I think I will go Venusaur lead so that I can force a Terastallization out, and then Koraidon in the back is just pressuring a lot of their Pokemon, and then Lastmon, I think, tempted to go Chi-Yu to get through the light screens. I don't think Porygon 2 is going to be that good. And then Ursaluna outside of Trick Room seems a little weak, so I could go Porygon 2 just to have something to switch in and out, but I'm not. I think I will take a more offensive route this match. So going to be interesting if we can force the Tera out on the Kyogre pretty early, which I think Venusaur does a good job of doing. It'll be really easy for Chi-Yu and Koraidon to pressure it, but outside of that, it can be hard to knock out the very bulky Calm Mind Leftovers Kyogre in screens with grassy terrain on the field. Okay, Raging Bolt. I don't think that is a way to get around Sleep Powder, which is interesting for me. Also interesting, I don't have a great switch in. Booster special attack, sure, makes sense. I think I'm just going to Volt Switch this guy. I don't have healing like passively on this team, so that could be annoying. And I think I may just... I mean, I could force a Terastallization out from them. Spear Break is just going to do a lot to all of my Pokemon in the back, unfortunately. I think Volt Switch makes sense, and then I will go for a... I mean, Grimmsnarl is really pesky, so I might just go for that. Delay the Sleep Powder one turn. Yeah, they protect the Raging Bolt, so Sleep Powder into that would have been purposeless, and now we're going to get a, Volt Switch Sludge Bomb. I don't think it will knock out unless we get a Poison or a Crit on one of these, but I'm happy to get a free switch out against the Grimmsnarl. Yeah, that didn't do a lot at all, but we at least pressure it next turn. Boom, big damage, and then I kind of want to go into Chi-Yu. I wonder if Heat Wave knocks them out. Maybe, maybe not, but at least it's something that they can't immediately pressure with a... I guess they can switch into Kyogre, that'd be annoying. I kind of want to Overheat and switch out. Or Overheat and Sleep Powder, though. Any damage onto the Raging Bolt matters a fair bit, actually. So I'm going to go for a Sleep Powder onto you. If I could knock out the Grimmsnarl with the Heat Wave, that's really nice, but I'm, going for a lot of inaccurate moves here. Definitely prone to miss one of them. But I'll take any damage I can get this turn. We double hit, which is really nice, and we do not knock out the Grimmsnarl. Fair enough. Oh, we burn the Raging Bolt, which isn't ideal in a way. The damage over time will be nice, but they can kind of offset that pretty easily. So Thunderbolt's going to do a lot here. Yeah, that is unfortunate. So they can Draco Meteor my Venusaur very easily here. I doubt they do, though. I think I'm going to switch into Raging Bolt and go for a Sludge Bomb. Force them to go for a Draco, I think. And probably Grass Knot the Grimmsnarl. Yeah, that seems good. They're probably going Thunder Wave, unfortunately. Maybe I just sack here. No, I don't want to get Thunderclapped, right? Yeah, I don't want to get Thunderclapped and lose my Venusaur, essentially. Yeah, I just attacked. I wasn't sure if I should protect the Venusaur or maybe do something else here. Hard to say. We never saw who was faster between the Raging Bolt. I would assume it's them. They go for Thunderclap and probably a Thunder Wave. Yeah, fair enough. So we do lose the speed advantage on our Venusaur unless we are in Sun, and then we'll be at neutral speed. Hopefully we can attack here. Cool. Yeah, we lost a lot of pressure by burning their Raging Bolt, so the damage is nice, but outside of that, I think I would have rather had the trade. They have both screens up, so our damage is going to be limited, but we are at least chipping down the Raging Bolt steadily. Raging Bolt actually makes Venusaur look so small. With the, yeah, like just its chest is standing above Venusaur's tree. Okay, no Tera's expended yet. Venusaur, okay. I could Sludge Bomb. I think I'm just going to Dragon Pulse. I'm not Electro Web, which is kind of annoying, unfortunately. I could switch out to Chi-Yu, but then I might get Draco Meteored. It's probably just Origin Pulse, right? I don't want to switch out my Chi-Yu because I'm priming a double knockout, I think. So I just want to Dragon Pulse you, and honestly I'm thinking about protecting the Venusaur, because then I can at least switch. If my Raging Bolt goes down here, I can at least switch in my Koraidon. They are burning the Tera. Not the... Yeah, tearing the Kyogre feels like a mistake to me. So if I preserve my Koraidon correctly, I can just I can hit them with a Flare Blitz, and if I go for Tera Fire, I'm pretty sure that will just knock out. We don't get parried on Venusaur, very lucky. And if they don't knock us out with a Draco, okay, yeah. We might lose our Raging Bolt to boost our energy, unfortunately, but we have lowered their special attacks, so they're going to be forced to switch out and lose that permanently. Calm Mind, fair enough, but I think that's fine by me, because I can just like Flare Blitz that, and I'm pretty sure in Sun, even with Reflect, that's a knockout. And they just expended their Tera, so this is fine by me. We also get our speed back up to par on the Koraidon. Interesting spot. I feel like I can just Sludge Bomb the Raging Bolt and it's not threatening me that much. No boost for them, thankfully. I really feel like they don't have a great Sludge Bomb switch in, truthfully. I guess they can go into a Moongus, which would be a little annoying. I think I'm just going to go for a... I mean, it's probably just protect the Kyogre, right? Maybe even Draco. Tricky spot. I think I could just double up into that, the Raging Bolt, truthfully, and try and knock it out. I think they're going to protect. Well, I'm not sure. I could have just gone for the Kyogre. They're switching that out. I feel like they're bringing in a Fake Out Pokemon or something. But a Moongus would be good. Okay, yeah, we just knock out the Incineroar then. With the Collision Course, and they're probably going to protect that Kyogre. I don't think Origin Pulse at +1 in Sun will knock us out. So I'd feel pretty good about this play. Collision Course, unless they're Chople or Focus Sash, should be a KO on the Incin, so I think we caught that switch right. Yeah, protect on the Kyogre, good call. Patting myself on the back there, and then Collision Course, good option there. So worst case would have been them reading us really hard and protecting the Raging Bolt, but with there's just not a big incentive for me to make this play from their perspective. It's like the Raging Bolt's at -2, it's not really threatening a knockout on either, and Kyogre is such a free knockout. So yeah, I think I made the correct aggressive play here, and now I can just double into that Kyogre pretty freely, I think. Any reason not to? I don't think so. I think I should just Sludge Bomb the Raging Bolt as coverage for a double protect. I'm not sure if this knocks out. I think I get the Kyogre though. Just gonna run a calc real quick. Chat, that's short for calculator. Just for those not in the know. 252, Reflect, Koraidon, Fire, Flare Blitz. Oh yeah, easy. Without the Tera, it would have been close, but I always Tera to avoid the Dragon weakness, and then we just Sludge Bomb to deal a bit of damage to the Raging Bolts. They go for the double protect, do not get it. I think even if they do, they have to go for Draco, and then I still feel like I beat the Raging Bolt. Yeah, that's a knockout clean. If I get the Sludge Bomb off, I think 2 Sludge Bombs plus 2 burns would knock out the Raging Bolt, so it would come down to reading the Raging Bolt Protect and either overheating or the Kyogre or protecting. But we never got paired on the Venusaur. Very lucky. Oh, we weren't even close. Okay. Yeah, if they had gotten the double protect, we wouldn't have recoil, but yeah, they'd have Thunderclap active, which would be quite annoying. That'd probably be fine though, I think. Because I can maybe switch into Chi-Yu, get the boost, but yeah, that's all reliant on me having the HP here. I guess it's not over. Because they can Thunderclap, I can get parried. Definitely not over, by any means. I've played pretty defensive around Thunderclap thus far. But I don't think there's a lot. Let's just go Dark Pulse Sludge Bomb. I think they go for a Protect here to stall out a turn of Sun, truthfully. Yeah, I could lose this for sure. Maybe I should have attacked into the Raging Bolt there. Yeah, the Thunderclap threat is difficult, and I think they knock me out with the Draco, truthfully, so maybe I try and stall out my own Sun. I won't be able to, I'm pretty sure. Let's go Double Protect, I think. Stall a turn with Burn. But yeah, if we get paralyzed on Venusaur, we're in some trouble. And they read that. Alright, yeah, might have just thrown. Could have attacked. Thunderclap, okay, we read that right, but all good. Another turn of Burn. I think a Dark Pulse is a KO, but a Sludge Bomb will not be. But I think I can go for a Protect, because we should always be outspeeding the Raging Bolt. 2 more turns of Sun. They can stall 1 out. 1 more turn of Reflect, or Light Screen rather. I think I go Protect here and Sludge Bomb. We do get the Double Protect, which I think is actually worse. I wanted to not get it, because then next turn I would have Protect active, but they went for Thunderclap regardless, so it doesn't matter. But the idea here is, if I attack with the Venusaur, I get them low enough to knock out with Sludge Bomb after the burns. Yeah, so narrow endgame, I think, despite having a decent enough matchup, but that's really my main complaint with Koraidon as a Pokemon in general, is even when you're taking the big knockout and your opponent's restricted, if you're not doing it with Collision Course, you're oftentimes chipping yourself in range of their non-restricted to KU right back, so it's very much a Pokemon where you have to be very conscious of how you're trading throughout the battle, and that's kind of difficult to do in some circumstances where your opponent just does so much bulk. You have to measure your damage output and the damage you're taking very, very carefully, and we just get there, but we could have gotten outread. Like, if they Draco my Venusaur on one of my Chi-Yu Protects, I lose the game because they can just Thunderclap me pretty easily. Alright, my opponent here has what looks like a pretty standard Whimsicott Miraidon team as of late. I'm not sure if the Urshifu is going to be the Single Strike or the Rapid Strike. I've seen some of them opting Rapid Strike Choice Band lately. I do think Venusaur is interesting, so I can Sludge Bomb. Actually, we have a lot of tools against them. Ursaluna, I think in particular, is very good against their team. As is Porygon if I can get Trick Room up. I'm going to lead the Raging Bolt. Just defensively, it's very strong. And Koraidon's interesting. I can set up Sun, but then the Ogerpon on their side is pretty scary. Let's think, though. Got to be very careful of their Urshifu, for sure. Maybe I just set up the Sun for myself. Yeah, that's interesting. That is for sure interesting. I might just lead Trick Room, though. I'm not sure, man. It's a tough call. I'm thinking about going Venusaur lead, just to put something to sleep, but probably more likely I'm going to get a Sludge Bomb off, so that's not great. Let's go Koraidon, and then I think P2 Ursa in the back. If I can get Trick Room up, I beat their Iron Hands, I beat pretty much everything on their team. But I do have to be wary of Encore Whimsicott, whereas Frigoraph, that's not a problem. They can't Encore you into reversing Trick Room on yourself. With Porygon on the field, if they get the Whimsicott in, you kind of have to switch out, otherwise you just forfeit your Trick Room right there. So we either have to knock out the Whimsicott on the turn it comes in, and we set up Trick Room, or we kind of just get got. Real classy photo from them. Looking at the photographer, her butt. Interesting. Okay, Whimsicott, Miraidon, very common lead. We are forcing them to make a call here because I'm pretty sure they're usually... Like, they don't want to go for an electric move, which is like A-okay by me. So I should kind of just be able to go for a... They can Draco my Koraidon, do a ton of damage that way. We move before them, which means they're forced to Tailwind, no? Oh, actually, on this team, it's usually Tera Fairy, so I want to be conscious of that. I think we'll live regardless, but what I want to do here is actually leave the Whimsicott alive and go for a... do I want to take that knockout? Not really. I think Volt Switch is going to do a lot. Should I just take the knockout turn 1? Can anything on this team take a Volt Switch Flame Charge? I don't think so. Do I want to burn the Tera this early? Not really. No, not really. Might be forced to, though. Yeah, let's go for it. I think they might rip the Tera turn 1, and I have to be proactive against that. I don't think they'll knock me out with the Dazzling Gleam on the AV Raging Bolt, but they'd knock out the Koraidon obviously very easily. I have opened myself up to a Volt Switch here. Don't think it'll KO the Koraidon unless they go for Tera Electric, but, you know, they very much are incentivized to. They Tailwind, interesting. So I guess I'm just going to go for the swap. Like, okay, they just go for that. Interesting, I could have protected, but... Dragon Pulse also would have been a great option, unfortunate. So that's really bad because I can't knock out the Whimsicott that easily now. And I don't have my cute Tera locks into their Pokemon, so really aggressive play, but it works out great for them. Yeah, if I had Dragon Pulse, it'd be really good, man. That's fine. We get our Porygon in. I think... no, let's get Ursaluna's Guts active. I think that's how that works. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so that's good. Now we can get our Porygon 2 in. I do believe a Facade should knock out the Whimsicott slot, and then we get Trick Room up. Yeah, we get Attack Raise. We're still going to boost our Terra Blast, but yeah, this is like not ideal because maybe they can knock me out with a Draco, unfortunately. If I had preserved Tera Fairy, I'd be in a like very good spot here. So that was just, I probably didn't even need the Flame Charge damage boosts, but I was worried about just getting knocked out by the Dazzling Gleam. That's the difficulty of the set. The Tera Fairy coverage makes a lot of the leads that are very good against the... Yeah, that's doing a lot of damage here. Oof. Yeah, I don't know if we'll live the Moonblast, unfortunately. Come on. Oh yeah, we have a couple turns of burn, I think. And with a lot of their Pokemon being choice, we should be okay. Yeah, and we knock out the Whims, very good. And I was confident they wouldn't... Usually they're Covert Cloak on this team, Covert Cloak Light Screen. So although we did take a lot of losses to get to this point, we do have Trick Room up. Raging Bolt's going to do pretty well against their team, and... How many turns? We have 13 damage per tick. We're just shy of 3 full turns with the Ursaluna, and they can apply Fake Out pressure with the Iron Hands, unfortunately. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Kind of a free switch out on their end. Yeah, tough spot. I guess I just go Terra Blast into the Iron Hands and prime a KO. Yeah. I think that's what I do. I think Fake Out into the Porygon or Drain Punch would be really aggressive, but would definitely put them in the driver's seat this match. I do think I kind of just can't afford to take the damage no matter what. Okay, Farigiraf comes in. Yeah, defense boost is annoying for sure. Drain Punch would be annoying, but I think fine at the end of the day. Fake Out, yeah. I think the damage on the Iron Hands is pretty important, though. It probably puts it in Facade range. I don't know if they'll Terra late game, like Tera Fairy or not. Yeah, interesting spot. I think we kind of have to go for a Headlong. Does Facade knock them out? I don't think so, unfortunately. So they can burn the Tera here. Iron Hands versus Ursaluna, Guts, Facade, doesn't do a lot. Yeah, I think I'm just going to burn it here. Like, burn the hit. And maybe I get a knockout if they don't Terra. Yeah, they don't Terra, so we're going to get that knockout and get a Very nice. Tera Blast into there for Rigorath. If for some reason they don't hit Trick Room here, then we will have our guy active, our Raging Bolt active in Trick Room. But yeah, they're going to Trick Room, I think. And I couldn't... Oh, that did a lot. So they're probably locking Dazzling Gleam or something like that. What would be interesting is going for a... So it's interesting. If I go for a Trick Room switch this turn, if I get that up, would they be Imprison or Helping Hand on this team? That's the only question. I think if I switch, I should win. I don't think they have a knockout here. Terra Electric, Electro Drift, maybe it gets me. They only have one more turn of that though, right? Would they go Dazzling Gleam or Electro Drift? If they go Drift... No, they have to go for Dazzling Gleam, I think, right? If they do that, I can't beat their guy regardless. Let's go for Trick Room, I think. Make a read. That they go for Helping Hand or something? I don't know. This is a hard turn. I think they could easily Trick Room here, and it's just like a game of chicken. But this doesn't really solve my problem, because unless... Well, Dazzling Gleam I doubt knocks me out. Truthfully. They're going for the Terra, yeah. So if I switched in my Raging Bolt and it got knocked out by like Helping Hand Dazzling Gleam, then I think we win. Because then we just go for Recover and then knock out the Miraidon with a Facade. But I don't think it's going to work out that way. Okay, Helping Hand's totally fine. I just need it to knock out the Miraidon, and then I should be golden. Ish. Okay, it does knock out, so we're going to get Trick Room up. Let me run the calc, but I do think Facade, Tera Blast should knock out their Miraidon. And I think we find our way out of this. Yeah, Facade does 78 to 93 on No Bulk Miraidon. And there's no way their Rigorath can outspeed us. We are min speed on the Ursa. Let me confirm that I did get my Ursaluna with that. Yeah, I did. 49 speed. Perfect. Perfect. So, I think based on the damage they are specs, so I think we do just go for Facade. And that looks a little shy of 78, so I'm actually going to go for a... probably Tera Blast is safest. I could Ice Beam to get a freeze on the Rigorath though, and I think I may go for that. Yeah, in case we don't knock out the Miraidon, I'm going to go for Ice Beam. Nah, let's just get the damage off. We're doing more that way. Yep, Facade. If we knock out, I think we win. Okay, cool. Could have gone for Recover here, given I got the knockout. That's a little safer in case we get knocked out by, say, a Psychic Noise. Oh, Psychic Noise would be bad. I'd lose to Recover. Eek. Okay. Let's look at the damage here. Yeah, I think we might lose to Psychic Noise for Rigorath, actually. Okay, it's just Psychic. So this game was actually misplayed. Yeah, they get a crit and not a special defense drop. That's good. So if they were Psychic Noise, I think we actually would have lost this game because we couldn't click Recover and we don't have a knockout. Yeah, but I don't think I could have hit the... Yeah, I go for Recover here, just stall this guy out. They have to get Psychic drops, I think, to win. Yeah, should be fine. Psychic, sure, makes sense, they're gonna go for it. They're doing 40 damage, crit doesn't knock out, so I think at this point, looking at the Trick Room turns, 2 more turns, if they have Protect, that's something. I think we go Ice Beam to give ourselves a freeze chance, and then Recover on the last turn of Trick Room. Yep, freeze chance there, don't get it, fair enough. Special defense drop could start to make things dicey if they get a crit, but I think now we just go for Recover. Yeah, Psychic Noise would have definitely messed us up on this endgame. That's an option I forget oftentimes that Rigorath has, but yeah, they really, if they had it here, we'd lose because we can't go for Recover, and we don't. We just miss out damaging them on the Rigorath, so they don't get the drop. A crit does 60 damage, so now we do have the knockout with a Tera Blast, I believe. Yeah, very close game after losing our restricted turn 1 and getting nothing out of it and are wasting our Tera, so kind of happy I found a way out, but that definitely shows how strong the Ursaluna can be if you get Trick Room up and you just get it on the field. It does just start clearing things out, although I think they probably mismanaged their Tera, maybe laser focused in on the Dazzling Gleam option to clean up the rest of my Pokemon, when in actuality the defensive Tera getting a Drain Punch off on my P2 or my Ursaluna would have been sufficient to probably just win them the game that way, so yeah. I think mismanaged game on both of our ends, but in the scramble of it, we were able to come out on top just barely. Okay, we have a very Trick Room-oriented team from my opponent. 2 Trick Room setters, potentially 3 if you count Smeargle, but I usually don't. Farigiraf, Calyrex Ice, Ogerpon as a Follow Me option, Torkoal, Smeargle, and, of course, Urshifu. Oftentimes that's Dark Form, Choice Band, very slow. So they have Follow Me options. They lead the Smeargle. It just depends on if there's safety goggles on, like, Farigiraf or not. I'd imagine they have some optionality for the Venusaur, but I do think Ursaluna is very strong here. Just leading it could be quite good against their team, but yeah, I also like Chi-Yu a fair bit. Chi-Yu can threaten a Heat Wave right off the jump. I can set up Trick Room or reverse Trick Room with my Porygon. I do have to be concerned about that Smeargle, though. Let's definitely be wary of that. What I could do here is actually Sleep Powder the Smeargle and set up a substitute, but if they lead the Calyrex, that's kind of bad for me. Truthfully, yeah, because they can just Glacial Lance me turn 1, which would be not good at all. I think Chi-Yu is my lead, and then Ursaluna in the back, or Ursaluna in the front maybe, could be cool. Just defensively, or offensively. Koraidon's an interesting lead. I don't think it is correct. I'm going to go Koraidon in the back, and then last Mon will be Porygon to potentially reverse Trick Room, because the lack of Assault Vest is going to let me beat the Torkoal pretty easily. But their Calyrex Ice is just a miserable matchup, especially if they have Farigiraf on the field. I won't be able to Thunderclap it. If they have a Decorate up, they can knock out my Raging Bolt. They get a little chip on it, even if I go for the Terastallization, so prioritizing Protect against Trick Room teams. Generally pretty strong, but it might have been the good call to go for the Raging Bolt if it ends up being the Torkoal as last Mon. Okay, Smeargle, fair enough. So they're threatening a lot of options here. A lot of options for sure. I think Terra Ghost, Heat Wave, very obvious for me. I believe Ursaluna Speed Ties Calyrex Ice. I could go for the Tera here, it'd be pretty funny. Pretty funny, haha. What Terastallization type are you, my friend? I kind of just want to go Substitute here, because it gives me some options against their team. I kind of want to go Terra Ghost, Heat Wave, Substitute. Spore would be crazy, it'd be a great play though, on my Ursaluna. I feel like Protect is decent. I'm gonna go aggressive and use Substitute. They read the Chi-Yu, Tera, great play. They can Spore that, they can Wide Guard, or, you know, a lot of options. Spore in the Ursaluna would be a great play. I could very easily just be trying to set up the burn. And if I Dark Pulse, if I go for any number of plays, Spore would be really difficult for them to beat. They go Fake Out into the Chi-Yu, and they don't go for a Tera. We actually could have overheated. Yeah, that's a lot of mileage on that turn. Oh my goodness, yeah. This is definitely, this feels like a turn 1 forfeit angle from them at this point. This is really bad for them. Very bad. Yeah, so not only do we burn the Calyrex, not only do we do like 80% to it and bring the Smeargle down to Focus Sash, now we have our Ursaluna burned behind Substitute. We have burned our Tera, that is the one resource we expended, but that's absolutely a dream turn 1 against a Trick Room team. I just like double Protect, honestly. Is that necessary? No, I don't want to give them a free switch in on this Smeargle. Yeah. Switching out Smeargle would be a great play here. Yeah. I think a really solid play from that. I guess I shouldn't have gone for this play, given I already burned the Calyrex. It's not that big of a threat. So I think Facade into the Torkoal would have been fine. Yeah, that's a Decorate, but that's okay because I'm Focus Sash GU. I can always just go for a Headlong Rush into the Smeargle, covering for Terra Ghost Follow Me instead of, you know, another option that I could go for. Like I could go for Facade, not take the defense drop, but at the end of the day, everything's breaking my sub regardless, so it shouldn't matter. So we should just be able to take out the Calyrex here. And yeah, do I want to give them a double switch? That's my only question. I think I can't really afford to leave the Smeargle alone, so I'm going to go with the... Well... It's actually an interesting question here, if I even attack into the Smeargle at all, if I can avoid it. Like, would Chi-Yu Asleep be fine here if I stall out another turn of Trick Room? Interesting question. Koraidon in the back against Torkoal and Urshifu. I think that'd be fine, right? Honestly, let's double it. Yeah, there's Follow Me, so we don't get to play that out, but I think there was definitely an argument there for me to go for a... basically go after the... Like, leave the Calyrex on the field so they don't get a free double switch, because they might get a double KO here, and then it might be a little tricky for me here. Yeah, because they break my Chi-Yu down to Sash. It turns out, like, the burn didn't end up being that valuable. It just meant I could play a little more aggressive, and they had to go for Decorate to actually get damage off. But yeah, we successfully stalled out most of the turns of Trick Room. If we had... Unfortunately, Protect Pokemon don't get me all the way across the finish line here. They have not burned their Tera yet. It's probably Urshifu Torkoal in the back. For Rigorath. That's a good start, I think. They did burn my sub, which is annoying, but Torkoal, sure. Helping Hand gonna do a ton of damage to me, but Torkoal, Trick Room. If I go for Protect here, they can't break it. I think that is correct, right? Should I sack the P2? Maybe. Let's just double Protect. I don't think they can really punish it, aside of like Nasty Plot for Rigorath, which would be fine, I think. They haven't burned their Tera, which is very smart, because it's at least leaving them some outs against me. I think Flare Blitz should still knock out their for Rigorath. If I can get a Collision Course onto them, that's good. Onto their Torkoal, because then they won't be able to do much damage back to me. Okay, successfully stalled until the last turn of Trick Room now, and they go for Hyper Voice. Sure, that's fine. I could sack my P2, very tempted to. I think Chi-Yu at 1 HP is valuable, truthfully. I might go for a double Protect on the Ursaluna, and switch out to my P2. And is that necessary? I don't know, we're stalling out Sun turns pretty well, right? Let's just go P2, I'll recover if it comes down to it. They could go for a Tera Fire Eruption this turn, in which case I think we're still fine. Let's just go for Headlong Rush into you. On the off chance they don't Eruption, they go for Heat Wave, which they have no reason to do. I am basically sacking my P2 if they go for Tera Fire Helping Hand Eruption, I think, but that's fine. Eruption Special Attack Boost, let's go. We're not going to get to use it. They might be Throat Spray here. Yeah, it's definitely Choice Specs Torkoal, which means we should have a free Dark Pulse into that if we want it. Let me just confirm. Trick Room. Okay. Interesting. I think they miscounted there. Yeah, and now we should just get to go into our Chi-Yu and confirm first that they are Choice Specs on the Torkoal. And then we should be good. Well, maybe not. Should I just knock out the Ferrograph with a Overheat? I don't think so. I think we do just take the damage. So Torkoal Eruption would have been 50 off of Charcoal. They did how much? a little more than that. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I have some special defense on this guy, so I'm going to go Chi-Yu. Go for an Eruption. Or a Dark Pulse into the Torkoal and break their Eruption. Like, I'm pretty sure that's not Charcoal, right? That's the only thing that's sketching me out, is if they are Charcoal and I'm severely estimating my guy wrong. I'm only 252 HP. I'm not very special defensive on this guy. So Eruption could have done 114. 192 minus 114 is 78. Max roll would have been leaving me with 78, looks like. So they have to be choice specs. Which means we should just have a recover Dark Pulse into that, with no need to risk it. Yeah, they protect the Ferrograph, which is kind of a Hail Mary, I think, just hoping I'd overheat it. But yeah, they definitely kept me on my toes by never going for the Terrestrialization. They are going to knock out our Chi-Yu here. We could have knocked out the Torkoal to avoid that, but I think just taking the HP is a lot. What they... I do not understand. How did they do that much damage that turn? 78, I was at 75, I think? Yeah, I don't understand how they were able to do that much damage to me with a Charcoal Torkoal. They could have won that turn for sure if they had protected then. What the heck? Okay, and they get a Revenge Heatwave burn on me, fair enough. But I still just should be able to go for a Flare Blitz Recover, I think? And not be risking a whole lot, I believe. Well, I don't know. Is that true? Not really. This is a weird endgame for sure. I think I Collision Course because Ferrograph should be able to take the Flare Blitz, honestly. Yeah, this is my unfamiliarity with all the calcs coming in. Very, very bad for me. Koraidon without the boost. Flare Blitz isn't going to knock them out, unfortunately. That is Reflect. Oops. Let's just go for a Collision Course, I guess. Yeah, they protect the Torkoal, so we get that read right and we don't take any recoil, which I was a little bit worried about them being Psychic or Dazzling Gleam to KO me, so I didn't go for Flare Blitz, even though the damage obviously would have been better. Oh, Flare Blitz would have probably knocked... no, it's equivalent to Stab. They go for Psychic, so a Flare Blitz would have put us in range, I think. Okay, they knock out anyways with a no crit. Okay. Flare Blitz would have been a little stronger here. They are Life Orb, geez. Okay. They might win then. They didn't go for Trick Room, so it's not over, but we have to stall out this Ferrograph, which the burn I think we might be just shy of doing. Yeah, Life Orb Ferrograph definitely threw me off. Could have won this game if I had Terra Blasted the Torkoal, doubled into it, which is probably safer, but I just didn't know my rolls. Okay, they're going for a Terra finally. You Terra Ghost Torkoal? Okay, yeah, that'd have been insane, but I couldn't risk Ice Beam there, I think. Double Protect Trick Room would be interesting. I guess the question now, they outspeed for sure. Psychic does... I think they actually win. Yeah, especially with the special defense drop, I think they do just win. Yikes, okay, GG. Oh man. Oh, that was tough. I guess I could have doubled into the Ferrograph at any point with like Terra Blast Collision Course, but yeah, I just didn't think Psychic would do that much damage, and then they, yeah, I misestimated the damage on their Torkoal as well, so great game to them. Really well played. Because now Hyper Voice is a KO. Yeah, they just did way too much damage on the Life Orb Psychic. Wow, yeah, gotta play your... Even if you get a really great turn one, you do just have to play it out and actually execute the rest of the game, because we do end up losing just barely against the Ferrograph in this endgame. Really well played to them, for sure. That was a nail-biter of the game, but yeah, if I had Terra Blasted, doubled into the Torkoal, we could have won, but they could have protected that turn as well, so definitely very confused on the damage calc. I need to check that, because the way I was calculating it was the Porygon 2 was at max HP. Like, so I don't have 4 special defense stat. I don't have that, so maybe that was the difference maker. They were doing 114. Oh, it's the default set. 117? Okay, I guess they literally max rolled me. Oops. Yeah, no, they literally max rolled the Eruption and fooled me into thinking they were specs, and that's how they won the game. Yeah, well played. I guess I should have assumed it was going to do more, but I just thought it was like mid-roll specs instead of like literally max roll choice specs on also me miscalcing with the Porygon 2, so a lot of mistakes made there. I think that's one where if I know my calcs a little bit better, I can probably win that game, but because I don't, I just like narrowly lose out. And that's kind of the margins of error against the team that has to trade this efficiently. You need to be really experienced with it, so like a master with the team like Robbie can, you know, pilot it all the way to top 8 of a really big tournament, and then I can just like, without the experience, be making tiny misplays that precipitate to losses in games that should be pretty favored, so good lesson from that game, I think. So that's going to do it for our Battles Today featuring Robbie's Venusaur Koraidon team. I really like the Porygon 2 Ursaluna Trick Room mode. Usually you see a lot of Farigiraf in the metagame, but Porygon definitely proving it has its place. Venusaur as well, really interesting. I've actually been seeing a little bit of an uptake of Sleep Powder, Chlorophyll on higher ladder, people trying to make Koraidon and Groudon work, just because they are kind of the more unexplored restricteds coming up to World. We never got to hit a Sleep Powder, but it was still like pretty good for us in this live, I think. Just able to apply consistent damage, kind of hard to hit without committing a lot of resources. Amoonguss-like typing, and there's not a lot of true fighting type attackers in the metagame, so overall really cool team. Congrats to Robbie on the top 8, and good luck at the World Championships. If you guys want to use the team for yourself, I have the rental code in the top right of the video, as well as the Pokepaste with the EVs in the description below. If you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to the channel. With all that being said, peace y'all.